Welcome to the Methodcast, the show where we break down the hidden mechanics of habits, addictions, and the way our minds shape our reality. Today, we're talking about something that keeps so many people stuck in a cycle they don't even fully understand: the dual addiction of porn. This isn't just about craving dopamine, not just about physical dependency. This is about psychological attachment, the belief that you need it, that it provides something essential, that without it, you're missing out. Most people think of addiction in simple terms. You consume something, it releases dopamine, and over time, your brain gets hooked. That's the basic understanding, right? But what if that's only half the story? What if the real reason quitting porn feels hard isn't because of some physical withdrawal, but because of a mental illusion that's been built up over years? Let's break this down. The Easy Peasy Method describes dual addiction, a combination of physical dependency and psychological conditioning. The physical part is easy to explain. Every time you watch porn, your brain releases dopamine, reinforcing the habit. Over time, your brain adapts, lowering dopamine receptors, making normal activities feel dull. So when you try to quit, you feel restless, bored, even agitated, because your brain is waiting for that next dopamine hit. But here's the twist. Physical addiction alone wouldn't be enough to keep you stuck. Think about other things that release dopamine: sugar, junk food, even social media. People overconsume these things too, but they don't feel the same emotional struggle when quitting. That's because porn is not just a habit, it's a belief system. This is where psychological attachment comes in. Over years, sometimes decades, porn becomes more than just something you watch. It becomes a coping mechanism. It becomes a way to handle stress, loneliness, boredom, or even just the routine of daily life. Think back to when you started watching porn. Maybe it was out of curiosity, maybe it was just a joke between friends, maybe you stumbled into it by accident. But over time, it became something more. It started to feel like an escape, a reward, a way to feel excitement when life felt dull, a way to numb difficult emotions. Maybe even a way to feel something real in moments when everything else felt empty. And that's where the real addiction starts, not in the physical cravings, but in the mindset that says, I need this. The idea that without it, you're missing out. That somehow, porn is filling a gap in your life. That quitting means deprivation. This is why quitting porn feels harder than it actually is, because you're not just letting go of a habit, you're letting go of a story that your brain has been telling you. A story that says, this is my way to unwind. This is my stress relief. This is how I handle loneliness. But what happens when you believe something gives you comfort? You fear losing it. This is why so many people feel resistance when they try to quit. It's not because they physically can't, it's because deep down, they believe quitting means losing a source of pleasure, of comfort, of escape. And this belief, that's the real addiction. The Easy Peasy Method reveals something powerful. There is no actual loss. The comfort you think porn gives you, it was never real. It's like a mirage in the desert. You chase it, thinking it will quench your thirst, but every time you reach it, it disappears. And yet, you keep chasing, believing the next time will be different. Let's look at how the psychological attachment influences people in real life. First, it affects self-perception. People start to believe that porn is just a part of who they are, that it's wired into their personality, that they are by nature a porn user. And the longer they believe this, the harder it feels to walk away. It also affects how people see relationships. Over time, the brain associates arousal and pleasure with screens instead of real people. This is why many long-term users report feeling disconnected in relationships, struggling with attraction, or even finding real intimacy less exciting than fantasy. The brain has been rewired to expect unlimited novelty, perfect scenarios, endless control. Things that real-life relationships don't provide. And here's something even more subtle. It changes how people experience emotions. Whenever someone feels stress, boredom, or loneliness, their brain automatically looks for the easiest way to escape that discomfort. And because porn has provided relief in the past, it becomes the default solution. This is why so many people relapse, even when they don't want to. They tell themselves, this is the last time, just one more, just to take the edge off, because in that moment, they believe porn will provide relief. But here's the truth. It never actually does. The stress, the loneliness, the boredom, still there afterward. The only thing porn does is create a cycle where you keep coming back for more. And the craziest part? Once you stop believing the illusion, the addiction collapses. Think of it like this. Imagine you're holding a rope in a tug-of-war match. The more you pull, the harder the opponent pulls back. And it feels like the only way to win is to pull even harder. But what happens if you just let go of the rope? The battle ends instantly. That's what quitting porn looks like when you stop seeing it as something valuable. When you stop believing the lie that it provides pleasure, relief, or comfort. You don't have to fight cravings, because cravings only exist when you believe you're missing something. And here's where things get really good. When you detach from porn psychologically, you don't just quit. You regain everything it was stealing from you. Your ability to enjoy real intimacy comes back. Your energy, your motivation, your confidence, they start rising naturally. Because porn wasn't just something you watched, it was a mental weight you carried. And once you drop it, you feel light again. This is why Easy Peasy is different from other quitting methods. It doesn't just say, stop watching. It says, look at the illusion. See the trap for what it is. And the moment you see it, you're free. So if you're listening to this and still struggling, ask yourself, what do I actually think I'm getting from this? And be honest, does porn actually make your life better, or has it just tricked you into believing it does? Because once you see that the benefits were never real, quitting isn't a struggle, it's a relief. That's it for today's episode of the Methodcast. If this resonated with you, don't just think about it, act on it. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Because sometimes the only thing standing between someone and freedom is a shift in perspective. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. Together, we're breaking free from addiction and building lives that are full of joy, purpose, and freedom. Until next time, keep celebrating your wins, stay curious, and never forget, you've got this.